Hello, and welcome to Shedding the Bitch Radio, where you can discuss, debate, and get advice on how to discover and shed the bitches of fear, insecurity, self-doubt, and negative mindsets so you can realize your dreams and life purpose and create and accelerate the riches you want in life. Join us here live every Tuesday at noon Eastern and dialogue with us at 818-572-2910. You can also chat with us at Blog Talk Radio /SheddingTheBitch or share your stories on our website at sheddingthebitch.com. Whatever the bitch is that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest, it's not worth giving up the riches in life that you deserve. So call in now and let Bernadette Bowes know what's holding you back. 818-572-2910.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Shedding the Bitch Radio. And we have such a fun and really important conversation to have today. And actually, I'm very curious about it because it's all about accelerating your professional growth with the body code. Who's interested in really understanding what the body code is? I know I am. But before we get into all that, let me just shout out a couple of reminders and a couple of updates. And that would be some previous episodes that we just had. One was our Ask Me Anything episode was last week. And we covered subjects such as the fact that someone's never really joined an online group before for support. And it happened to be a fitness/health group. And they were really concerned about putting themselves out there and how to go about doing it without subjecting themselves to any judgment or ridicule, or just being comfortable sharing and being vulnerable on an online group. So we talked about that. We also talked about the fact that this one individual came to me about the challenge she has with people feeling intimidated by her and how can she change and alter that. And of course, as you know, I'm like the expert at that type of situation. And then lastly, we talked about someone who really want to change their life, and yet they can't seem to get out of their own way or get kick-started into it. So that's a nice segue into even what we're going to be talking about today. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then the week before, though, I do want to mention that we talked to Joanna Wright of Bottom Line Wealth, all about how you can get in the market of real estate investment with zero money. And it's a great strategy, and a great financial freedom strategy that you could be leveraging for yourself if you're looking for other options when it comes to your financial freedom. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, we did talk to Michael Arterberry, who, he just brightened our day up with a conversation about shaking the dirt. And I can't explain it as well as he can. So you'll just have to look for that episode, Shake the Dirt with Michael Arterberry. It was fantastic. Now you can listen to any of our episodes on Apple Podcast, on sheddingthebitch.com, even on blogtalkradio.com. And for the last several weeks, we've also been video recording them. So they are up on our YouTube channel. You could just go to youtube.com/Bernadette Bowes, Shed the BTV, and find all of our episodes and our lovely faces of those interviews. And you can also find other training tips, rich tips, and educational program videos out there as well. Now, lastly, I need to thank our sponsors. There's a couple of sponsors who just contribute to the Shedding the Bitch community beautifully. And that's Deborah Parker of Parker House Virtual Services. She provides full virtual assistance and social media support to small to medium-sized companies. She's mine. And you can reach out to her directly at deborahparker.va@gmail.com. We also need to thank Debbie Snelling and her team at North Georgia Tax Solutions, who is a full financial services and tax service organization who also serves small to corporate size clients. They're fantastic. So if you have any financial, tax, or business money, needs, then please reach out to northgeorgiataxsolutions.com. And she's just not servicing Georgia. She services all over the country. So you can go to ngtaxsolutions.com for more information. Tell them both that I sent you, okay? All right, let's dive into this conversation and meet our guest. As I mentioned, we are talking about accelerating your professional growth with the body code. So if you are feeling stuck, as I even mentioned, an individual had an issue with, or frustrated in your professional life, don't have the knowledge to move forward in your journey, and for whatever reason, you haven't taken the action, or if your situation is causing you physical and emotional pain and you're ready for a change, then you need to listen in. Our guests will be sharing, excuse me, my microphone appears to have broken. Our guests will be sharing how an advanced energy medicine system known as the body code can help you accelerate your professional growth so that you experience improved health and well-being, more joy, peace and fulfillment, and transformational breakthroughs. Now, I want you to listen for a few things during our conversation. I want you to listen for information about how everything is about energy, everything, and everything is connected. When our energies are in a state of flow, balance, and harmony, we experience optimal health, well-being, joy, happiness, and peace. I also want you to listen for how your emotional baggage or your negative trapped emotions like anger, grief, shame are the major source of your challenges and your health and well-being. Lastly, I want you to listen for how advanced energy medicines such as the body code help people identify and release the non-beneficial energies that are keeping them stuck. All right, so our guest, Mark Hernandez, sitting there nice and pretty. He is the owner and founder of People and Pets Energetics. He is a holistic practitioner that helps people, animals, and spaces that have hit the wall with health and well-being issues. He uses non-invasive energy medicine modalities and tools to help his clients in other instances over time. Actually, I missed that. To help his clients experience change in a gentle and safe fashion. Mark is a certified emotional code, the body code, and advanced ASH work. He has talked about and demonstrated his work at holistic festivals in Texas, Greater Chicago, and the Midwest. He also has been a guest on many, many online radio shows, podcasts, and local Chicago TV. He even hosts, we're getting there soon, he even hosts the People and Pets Show, a weekly online show where he interviews leading figures in energy medicine. Day by day, people are choosing to assume a greater role in their own health and well-being, and Mark works to help them experience more health, wealth in body, happiness, joy, and freedom in their everyday lives. Mark, welcome, 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 welcome.
Hey, thanks, Bernadette. It's great to be with you and your community. Thanks
that was an awesome resume for sure, and I love the whole people and pets idea, and even the spaces. Trying to find the place that we're at, in the space that we're at, with the pets that we have, and finding out what their issues are in order to create health and well-being. I love peace, joy, and love. That's awesome. So tell me, how did you even get into all of this? How did this become your niche and area of expertise?
Yeah, well, it started with my own life. My first professional background, PhD in Hispanic Studies, taught as a college professor for 20 plus years, wrote books, taught all sorts of classes, full range. And what I noticed in my professional life was I had hit the wall in my professional world. I kept on noticing patterns, strange patterns that were repeating in my professional life for no logical reasons. Like all of us, we always look at our own behaviors and actions as this just doesn't add up. So finally, one day I picked up the phone, called my brother. He's a doctor of integrative medicine in Texas. So he's a medical doc and much more. Told him what was going on. And this is back in 2007.
Okay, that's what was my next question.
Yeah, 2007. So I told him what was going on, and I said, any suggestions? He said, yeah, I recommend you work with an energy healer out in New Mexico. Okay, at the time, I was living and working in Boston. And so I worked with this energy healer, 2 1-hour sessions over 2 months. And like I said, when nothing had changed in my professional life, as I like to say, that proverbial frozen needle on the dial started to wiggle. Okay?
Ooh, nice.
Not everything changed overnight, but it got my attention when nothing changed. So I was a little bit stubborn, said I can still turn around these patterns in my professional life, and it wasn't meant to be. And I now know why. But in that case, I picked up the phone again. I said, I want to learn that energy thing, because we all come in this lifetime with baseline abilities to do the type of work I'm going to talk about this afternoon. And also I learned that I was given extra gifts coming down here to the earth that were meant to come online full blown at a later stage in my life. So from that, my brother, I started training, certification. So that's how I got started in doing what I'm doing today.
That is, and gosh, it's interesting how life intervenes, how the universe intervenes and says, you know what, Mark, you belong over here. And you've embraced it. I love it, love it, love it. So what do you see and find to be the common reasons people are stuck and really stuck in both their personal and professional life?
Yeah, so the stuckness comes for a variety of reasons. From the 30,000 foot perspective, the biggest thing is your vibration. All of us, as I said, as you said at the beginning, all of us are really pure energy, as Einstein said many years ago. We're on one level very tangible, very 3D. We have a quote unquote physical body. We also have an energy body, which is like the blueprint for our physical body. From the 30,000 perspective, we're in a high state of vibration, like over 500 hertz and above, love and above. We experience more optimal health, wellness, and well-being. And then we're in those lower frequencies of, like anger, grief. Shame is one of the lowest, like at 20 hertz, okay? We're in depression. That makes us susceptible to non-beneficial energies more coming in and lowering our vibration, okay? So that's from the 30,000 foot perspective. Now, so what are some of the energies, the non-beneficial energies that get people trapped?
Right.
It's the most common thing are negative trapped emotions: anger, grief, resentment, love unreceived. We all experience some tough stuff in life. Most of the time we experience things, we process them, we release them from our energy field, it's over. Other times, for whatever reasons, these emotions are never fully processed, and they get trapped in our energy field. They're like little balls of energy, okay? So over time, it's not always, next day, but over time they accumulate, and more negative energies come in and lower our vibration and get us stuck, okay? Other non-beneficial energies that are very common besides the negative trapped emotions are toxicity, cell phone radiation, Wi-Fi, 5G,
Wow.
the heavy metals from vaccinations, that's coming back in the conversation now. All those things can lower our vibration, make us more susceptible to not live our optimal life.
Okay, I have to divert a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that last one, when it comes to like the technology interruptions, how does one then take care of that? Because look at you and I, we're so dependent on all these signals. How, what do you recommend your clients or others to do to ensure that it's not intrusive on their mental and physical health and well-being?
Yeah. Okay. So we live in the modern day world. We're communicating right now through technology. It's here, it's with us.
Yep.
So, we're not going to go live in caves somewhere, not have access to Wi-Fi. So there are several things. So first of all, I think the first step is the awareness. Okay. Because you think of many of us today, we have multiple devices, we're talking on a computer, cell phone, iPads, or whatever, especially the younger generations. Okay. Especially sometimes I'll see the moms give the 1-year-old or the 2-year-old the iPad to play with, okay, their brains are not as developed as ours. So that over time, there's going to be studies showing, over time it does damage. Okay, so what can we do? We live in the modern day world.
Right.
So actually something I discovered in the last 3 months, I'm a believer in sharing resources too of other people that are doing great work. There's this company out of Canada called Focus Life Force Energy, okay? Focus Life Force Energy. For a very nominal fee, you can get a monthly subscription. You can have it, your residents protected, okay? Energetically. It will send frequencies to minimize the non-benefits of Wi-Fi, 5G. It also gives you other health benefits like immune support, energetic vitamins. Okay, it's very, very nominal fee. And that's just a company I recently discovered. I've noticed, because I'm sensitive to the Wi-Fi and stuff. So over the last 3 years, I've done different things. So that's one thing. They can get it for their cell phone. Another thing is there are also different types of energy pendants out there that will mitigate. You kind of wear it here. Mine I have them in my pocket right now, but they mitigate the effects of Wi-Fi. One tool I like is by Peter Schenck out of the Modern Day Mystic out of Connecticut. He has this device, so it's a little bit of investment, about $200, but if you use it all the time, it will reduce the Wi-Fi and all that. So those are a few things. There's also a lot of, I'll make a sheet maybe for the end of some resource. People can just explore around, but also a lot of healers put out frequency tapes through intention. You just play it and it will clear out the Wi-Fi. So there are definitely things. I think the most important thing is the awareness.
Right.
Doing things if you're especially around Wi-Fi all the time, daily, weekly basis to clear out your field from those frequencies.
Okay. Now I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
And I have certainly moved, at least in the last 8 to 10 years, I've moved into this space that I would call, forgive the language, but what I would call woo-woo.
Yeah.
As opposed to kind of when I was in corporate and everything was, a matter of fact.
Absolutely.
So when you're speaking to someone that's kind of got a wall up when it comes to all of this, vibrations and frequencies, how do you speak to them? How are you able to kind of get them on the same page to really be able to leverage, everything you even just have said, and we've only been talking for a few minutes?
Yeah. So I would say the first thing is about experience. The type of work I do is very experienced. People that experience this work know if they're better or not, and they always decide. Okay. So let's say it's someone that always has these headaches. They're around the computers all the time. And let's just say, I'll say, okay, you can download for free this frequency from a trusted healer. I know they're legit, and play it once a day for 5 minutes. Notice what you notice over the next 3 days. Okay, good. Go. Yeah, my headaches went away. That's weird. Okay, so I would say for people, I can always work with people, and it's fine. I always believe in, people can be skeptical, and I always encourage people to ask questions because not everyone's the real deal out there. So ask questions always, and it's an experience. Get a taste of it, and then you'll decide. If people are really, they need, 5,000 pages of scientific documentation, a lot of this work, most of it doesn't register on scientific machines. So I'm going to say, if you need that level of proof, I respect that, but I'm probably not the right person to serve you.
Yeah.
You find the solution that's right for you.
Right. You couldn't get any better than that. Can't get any better than that. Which reminds me, I want everybody to go to peopleandpetsenergetics.com and check out everything that Mark is doing, even while we're talking, but even long after that. Because I'm sure you have many questions, listeners, and you're having ailments that you're not quite sure how to address. And maybe you're like the old me that kind of was like, all this holistic stuff is just a little bit too woo-woo. You know what? Like he said, give it a shot, prove it to yourself, as opposed to just ignoring it.
Yeah. And let me say, the people that see me, the people that typically see me, they're at least open-minded. They may think, it may or may not work, but okay, I'll listen. they've gone through 95% of the solutions that genuinely most help people with that right shoulder pain. Someone's had it for 20 years, comes and goes. They've gotten their medical doctors, been to the medical tests. They said, we can't really find anything. They've maybe even done some alternative stuff. Maybe went to chiro, acupuncture. Maybe it helps some, but still a missing piece.
Right.
And they're in pain. Give energy medicine a try, like what we're going to talk about this afternoon. Because the other thing I didn't mention is, two most common reason people have their stuff is negative trapped emotions, toxicity, and also some people come under spiritual attacks. Some people can be susceptible to curses, entities like negative thought forms, evil spirits. I've seen it. Okay.
Wow.
But when things are really don't add up and you've done all the 95, it might be there, it may not, but the body will tell me.
Yeah. Nice. But how do people know that they're stuck? I mean, I sat on my couch for 3 months. It's a long story, but how do people know that they're stuck? What are the signs or what?
Yeah. So it's pretty much, I think, you're stuck, like, you made a conscious effort to improve your situation. And often you'll see like some improvement, maybe for a couple days and a week, and then it goes back to where it was, kind of resets to where you were before. That's one indicator that you're stuck. You have gone through all the known solutions that help people. You go, I've done, and I always encourage people, do the left brain things. If, the things, the logical things will get you the solution, let's stay there. I love it let's keep it simple. If you have a headache and that 1 cent aspirin will make you feel better, no major side effects, do it. Let's stay there. But the people that see me have gone through that. So, and also they're frustrated. Okay. You go, God, what else can I do? And I'm hurting. I'm in pain. Often it's physical, where, sometimes I've been there. My right hand hurts. I put a cream on it. It helps. Other times it doesn't. I don't know why. There's something deeper in the energy field if the lower hanging fruit solutions don't work. So those are some of the indicators that people are stuck.
And then, and that makes sense. Now, what does it take for someone to then say, okay, you know what? It's time. I need to reach out to Mark. I need to reach out to, an expert here, because not only have I just tried everything, so what's the but?
I've tried everything, but I'm not sure it works. So here's one like low investment possibility. Come on the People and Pets show. I do live mini healings. Okay. I work with people live for 5 or 10 minutes. We work with one issue. So if they have 25 issues, okay, we're not going to resolve everything in 5 minutes. But if they have one burning issue, I've had people had major breakthroughs in 10 minutes on a mini healing. I've had people go from foot pain for 20 years, comes and goes when they're on the show at level 8 of 10, and it's dropped to a 2 or a 0. Okay. Everyone will have their own experience. So that's something, there's some, free things people can do that, they get a taste, say, oh, I like that, and then, if they have 25 issues, then we can dive deeper and do a private session.
Okay, then you need to talk, and I'm going to let you do the talking. You need to talk about your show then, what it is about. We got a flavor of it, but it's a lot more, I'm sure. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so the People and Pets show, the purpose of the show, it's really like service to the community. So what I do in each episode of the show, I typically interview a person in holistic healing, either for people, animals, or spaces.
Okay.
And some shows I call them special editions. They're special editions. I do multidimensional mini healings for people, animals, or spaces. So 30 minutes, an hour, depends on how many are on the show that day. Everyone gets a mini healing, typically 5 or 10 minutes with one burning issue. And so to date, I've recorded about 60 episodes, and there's everything from Ayurvedic medicine to, theta healing to, animal communicators, people that work with animals I've crossed over. I have a variety. So because I want to empower people. Okay. The idea is to give people, first of all, I want all my clients and just people that listen to have tools to help themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
That's always the first stop. And then when we get stuck, I call a trusted healer to help me get unstuck.
Yeah.
So that's what the purpose of the show is. And you can find all the episodes on my website. There's a tab called the People and Pets Show. And
on peopleandpetsenergetics.com, people.
Yeah.
Go there and check it all. That is, and when you said you can also help them get in touch with a pet that crossed over, I was about to start crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't have any concerns or issues with the fact that he
Yeah.
passed, but just the idea that I'd be able to talk to him again was, oh my gosh, he was my heart. Yeah. So, okay. So tell us about this body code.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it and how does it function? I don't know.
How does it work?
Yeah. How does it work?
So the body code is a holistic healing system in which the practitioner uses the body code mind maps. These are like electronic charts, and his or her intuition to identify and release the non-beneficial energies that are keeping people, animals, or spaces stuck with health and well-being issues. So this system was created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. Dr. Nelson is a holistic chiropractor, medical intuitive, and is over 25 plus years in a brick and mortar practice in California. He would see his patients do the chiropractic adjustment of the spine. Maybe a lot of your listeners have seen a chiropractor. And, for a lot of people, he'd do the corrections. They were great. Other times, people's stuff kept coming back over and over again. And he found he was making the same adjustment. So back in 2007, Dr. Nelson received a divine download that basically said, identify and release people's negative trapped emotion, their negative baggage, the stuff we talked about, and the chiropractic corrections would hold better. So in 2007, he wrote and published a book called The Emotion Code.
Nice.
So this is a book, this is actually the second edition from 2019. He teaches everyone how to identify and release their negative trapped emotions: anger, grief, resentment, love, and received, over 60 negative trapped emotions. And he says that often people's emotional baggage can account for, or usually factors in 85% of people's stuff, whatever it is.
I can believe that.
Hi. He also coined the term a heart wall. So, we've all gone through tough stuff in life where our heart gets broken. What can happen when our heart gets broken, it can be energetically broken, in pieces. So the subconscious mind then builds a wall around it to protect it from negative trapped emotions. As a result, often people are walking through life. They're kind of like seeing life behind the pane of a glass. They're there, but not fully there. Okay. These are very common. 92% of people in the world have a heart wall. Okay. They can hold people back with their health, their career, their just general happiness.
Right.
Okay. So that's also another contribution of Dr. Nelson. So the first step of what became the body code was the emotion code: identify and release the emotional baggage. So emotion code represented a big breakthrough, and Dr. Nelson knew that there was more. In 2009, he got a second divine download, which became the body code. So the body code includes everything of the emotion code and other 6 major categories of imbalance. I mentioned the other second big category, which is toxicity, cell phone radiation, Wi-Fi, all that. But other types of imbalances also, like of offensive energies, like from spiritual medicine. I mentioned ghosts, entities, curses, saboteur, that someone stabs you in the back, very common. All those things can be holding people back. So the way it works, so I look at body code mind maps. A client comes to me, we'll just use one issue. We'll use right shoulder pain, okay? Say, okay, give me a little bit of information. Yeah, I've had it for 15 years, comes and goes. Right now, I have limited range of motion. It's a 9 of 10. Okay, great. So with that information, I have the permission to access the energy field of the client. So, I see that they're testable, which means their spine's aligned, they're hydrated. I test on myself because it goes faster, and I ask for help from above. God, source, creator. I work with archangels, my light team. They allow me to see what I'm allowed to see of what's keeping them stuck. So after I asked that, I asked the body, reason for that right shoulder pain, emotional, grief, 10 years ago. Feels like a male figure. Was it your father? Yes, my father died 10 years ago. Okay, you've been carrying that grief here, but you're feeling it here. Okay, let's release. Through intention, I go 1, 2, 3, gone. Okay, next thing, toxicity, cell phone radiation. Okay, we know more, it's this big. No, release. 1, 2, 3, gone. So I keep on going, ask the body till the body will say, we're completely done with the issue or done for today, because your body will release whatever it's ready for. So say, okay, give a very, very gentle test to your right shoulder. You're at level 8 pain. Go, oh, wow. Go, wow, I can go like this now. Or, whatever it is. So like I said, I've seen people go from 8 to 5 to 2 to 0. It'd be for everyone. That's what the body code is and how it works in a nutshell.
That's crazy. It's fascinating. Okay, so I'm going to play skeptic.
Absolutely.
I'm not, by the way, I have
but please do.
Yeah. But someone's carrying around, to your example about this, someone who lost a parent, they're carrying that pain around for, a year, 5 years, 10 years, a lifetime. How do you explain that with 3 touches, you can, that can be released from their body?
Yeah. So, okay, a little bit from the quantum physics. So the idea is that, like I said, we're really pure energy. If they're negative energies that are lowering our vibration, when we release them, as I'm releasing it, sometimes people feel things, other times they don't know it's gone. Let me give you one example. I was doing a remote session with a client in Australia. Woman in her early 40s, right hip pain since age 7, comes and goes. Okay, so that's long. Been to other healers, readers. I said, hey, you want to give this a whirl? You got your pain. You can, stick with door number 1 or try door number 3. So she said, okay. So we did a session. Actually, this was a 30-minute session because there was a lot there. But basically, as I was releasing things, she knew what things were about. There was emotional stuff from her growing up and, things from happening at a work situation 15 years ago. And she wrote me and she said, literally, my hip feels like it's on fire. I said, yeah, sometimes when you're releasing the energies, as things are releasing, everyone will have their own experience. Things can literally get hot. Or sometimes when we're working, people say, wow, the room feels hot when I used to do in-person sessions.
Right.
Yeah, or I get hot in the room. Things are releasing. So again, it's always about experience. And people, if all of a sudden they could do their show like this, they go like this. Something happened. Maybe was there even something more that the archangels just cleared? Yeah, that's possible. But you're better. I think that's what, in the end, what people want to know. Yeah. Am I better or am I not? And I'm going to decide.
Right. That is just so cool. That is just so cool. And I am a believer. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I wasn't, all the time, but sure. Over the last 10 years, I've certainly come to believe. I'll admit, and for those of you on the phone or listening, that might have the same uncertainty. I admit I don't get the whole energy thing, that we're all energy and that we're really not here physically. That gets a little bit difficult for me to grasp. But at the same time, the whole, energy and vibrations and all of that, I certainly have come to understand and accept. Not accept, but I appreciate it because it, helps.
Can I add one more thing about why people get really stuck? So
absolutely,
really stuck. I mean,
absolutely.
No, I'm gonna throw one more layer.
Okay.
So all of us, like I said, we're really pure energy and we're multidimensional beings. So from a spiritual soul perspective, we're currently having this experience in this soul incarnation. For most people and animals, they've had other experiences in other timelines, past life, parallel lives, future lives. Yep. What I'm finding, even for people that aren't quote unquote spiritual, with just the way the energies are changing on the planet, people are expanding, and so they're starting to feel energies from other timelines, past life, parallel lives, even future lives, and it's blending into the quote unquote now on one level, everything's the now, okay? There's
Right.
time is a construct.
Right.
At the
Right.
same time, there's some utility to breaking it down.
Right.
And so it's like, sometimes it'll take me past life, okay, physical trauma, let's just clear it. Wow, sometimes that leads to their breakthrough, okay? So again, it's all about results. Do I absolutely know past life exists or parallel lives? No, but at least from my own experience, I know I've had other incarnations. For me, let
Me
others
too.
see for themselves.
Me too.
And again, it's all about results. Are you better or not? You decide.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it. Yes. Past life regression was an obsession of mine about 25 years ago. I think when I read that book, it'll come to me. Life After Death.
Okay.
And it was all about past life regression.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I mean, I so resonated with it because I always felt like I was born, I already lived one time before.
And also some people are carrying ancestral burdens. I've seen that even in my own family.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. So anyway.
So what tips, like if someone's right now listening to this and or watching and they're struggling, what are some tips you can give them for them to be able to start getting unstuck, start moving forward, start looking up and seeing all the opportunities out there?
Okay. The first thing is, kind of always the return to basic fundamentals of just like nutrition. What are you putting in your body? Okay. Yeah. Eat more organic, more salads. Okay. Stay away from the processed foods. Okay. Water. About 80% of people are regularly dehydrated. 80%. So look at your water. Also look at the quality of the water you're drinking. If you're drinking tap water in most cities in the US, it has a lot of gunk in it, okay? It's not beneficial for your body over time. So look at the quality of your water. Your sleep. Are you sleeping with your cell phone in your bed? Okay, if that's things beaming frequencies, it's going to interrupt your sleep patterns. We all know we repair and regenerate when we sleep. So again, kind of all those fundamentals. Exercise, I know right now, but take walks in your neighborhood. And the other thing I would encourage everyone to do every day if you're in a warmer climate is, take off your shoes and put your feet on the earth for 20 minutes a day, grounding. It has a lot of healing frequencies, okay? Just doing that, notice what you notice. Okay, so those are things to start with. And then if, if you're stuck, ask your friends, look at different energy healing. There are different modalities, body code, emotion code, theta healing. There's a lot of great stuff. Tapping, EFT, technique. A lot of people love that. So great. Sometimes people work with their friends or, find a local practitioner to help you, move along, take your next step. So those would be some of my immediate recommendations. Now,
but to that last point about finding someone, you don't necessarily need to see them. You mentioned that you see people in the office and it gets hot, but at the same time, you also work just like what we're doing now, even on the phone, right? So you work all over the world.
Yeah, I'm now doing 100% of my consultations remotely by phone or video technology. I'm what's called as a remote healer.
Right, right, cool.
People's permission. I always have people's explicit permission. I can work with people and see what's going on with their pet or spaces. I do remote space clearings too.
Yeah, well, spaces was also a very cool concept as well. And at first I was like, spaces? And then I thought, oh gosh, yes. I know a few spaces that could, yeah. Now, okay, so I want to mention a few things, everybody. I want you to go to peopleandpetsenergetics.com and check Mark out, all right? But you can also email him, and I lost him. At peopleandpetsenergetics@gmail.com. I love guests who make it really easy for us. So his Facebook page, guess what it is? People and Pets Energetics. And of course, on LinkedIn, you can link in with them at Mark Hernandez. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? I want to make sure I mention, I thought you had, to learn more and actually to get a consultation, to schedule a consultation, go to peopleandpetsenergetics.com and you'll see a button And make sure that, you schedule time with Mark as well. Any last comments? Any last thoughts? This was awesome.
Yeah, I would just say, we're living a lot of, uncertain times, and it's going to be that way for a while. I would encourage people also to listen to their intuition, okay? Higher guidance is always talking to them all the time. And me included, we don't always pick up the phone. The phone's ringing, but listen, you're going to get a lot of intuitive guidance if you start developing your intuition, or if you already have it developed, just listening to it. You'll get signs, signals, synchronicities that will point you in a direction. Because I think for a lot of people, especially going through career, the way the work world is changing and will continue to change, there's not going to be a readily defined roadmap for a lot of next steps. You will get hints if you listen to your intuition.
All right. And but to be pragmatic, when you say your intuition, for some people, if we talk about it very simplistically, is just listen to yourself, listen to your gut, listen to kind of thoughts that bubble up. Don't just automatically dismiss them. Is that what you're?
Yeah. Pay attention if things repeat, you think oh, I'd like to go to a workshop on brushing my resume, and up on your screen without, bumps like a free thing to go to. And then you get a flyer in the mail. Oh, resume workshop or whatever. You'll get indicators. If it's too much, to be just coincidence. The universe is talking to you, trying to get your attention to point you in a direction for you to take the next step.
Yeah. Or Siri's listening and popping things up to you.
Yeah, Siri, or asking Siri, but I'm not sure. I trust her higher guidance.
Yeah. No. When you were explaining that, though, I'm thinking, oh God, people think that they're being listened to all the time nowadays, and that's why ads pop up all of a sudden when they, I absolutely love that. I think that's brilliant. All right, everybody, one last time, peopleandpetsenergetics.com. Learn about him, Mark Hernandez. Learn about him. Schedule a consultation with him. Even look into his People and Pets show. That's not right. It is.
Yeah, that's perfect. There's a lot of free resources there. Also, if they sign up for my e-newsletter, they get some free gifts. Just check it.
All right. And yes, just check it out, because it's another tool in your toolkit to kind of help you be a full, rich individual, which is what we all aspire to be. And at the same time, it's what we talk about here in the Shedding the Bitch community. So I want to thank you, Mark, for being part of our Shedding the Bitch show. Thank you so much, much.
Thank you. Thank you, Bernadette. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Yeah,
thanks. And stay tuned next Tuesday at noon Eastern time. We'll be right back here with another episode of Shedding the Bitch Radio. And be sure to go to sheddingthebitch.com to download any of our previous episodes, as well as on Apple Podcasts, Blog Talk Radio, and any other place you get your podcasts. We will talk with you soon, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Bose. Join Bernadette every Tuesday at noon Eastern as she helps you shift your bitches to riches. And the dialogue is always going on at sheddingthebitch.com. See you next week.